I'd say it was a pretty lucky round. Whenever you shoot 65, it has to be pretty lucky. So I made every putt that I saw. It just became easy after a while. So it was fun.
Okay.
The most fun I'd ever had on the golf course.
Very difficult then, though, after shooting around like that, to come back in the afternoon and then to come back today. I mean, how did you kind of come back to earth for, for rounds 2 and 3?
Well, I was pretty jittery at the first 2 holes. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? And I kind of hit a whole bunch of wayward drives. I was overswinging, and I sort of just settled down. I was like, okay, now you have to play another 18. That's over. You're only as good as your last shot kind of deal. Was what I kept thinking about.
How about the conditions today? Very tough out there, and to shoot 72, especially out when you got in that 15, 16, 17 range.
So
the wind was blowing like crazy. I mean, talk about the conditions today.
I mean, the wind was so hard, and you just had to trust your swing and aim. Like I aimed into the hazard, and it drew 40 yards, and I was like, okay, that's okay. You just had to play the wind, and you had to pay attention a lot.
So how does it feel to be an Ivy League individual champion?
So much fun. So much fun. Wish my team could be there, but next year. We'll get them next year.
First of all.
So exciting. Totally unexpected, too. I was having a pretty good round going. I played well on the front side and wasn't doing as well on the back, and needed to come in with some good scores and hit the shot and couldn't even see it. I didn't get to see it, but I heard a huge roar by all the fans that were standing in the back of the green, and I knew it had gone in, so that was pretty neat.
And the first championship for Harvard, talk about the thrill of that, just being able to accomplish that as a team.
It is that. It's a huge thrill. I am so proud of how hard my team has worked over the past year, especially this spring. They've been really committed and dedicated to being champions, and so it's amazing to have accomplished that goal.
Yeah, the 2 years ago, I would say that one we were almost there, but I would have said if we had won, that would have been really neat. This year is so satisfying. We've raised the level of our team through nothing but hard work, thinking the right way, and that's what I stress all the time. We had a really great day, probably the most proud I've ever been of my team. The 36-hole day to shoot the scores that we did, it's not an accident. They worked their butts off for it. But then to do it today and sitting on a big lead, it doesn't always work. They were really disciplined in tough conditions on a championship golf course at Atlantic City Country Club. So I couldn't be more proud of them. And then for my seniors, Jess is my first. She and Debbie Amonte were the seniors or the freshmen my first year coming to Harvard as coaches, and then to get them a championship by the time they left, it is so meaningful and so satisfying. So I can't thank them enough.
I mean, I think it's almost better that we don't know. It's not like we can control what the other teams are doing. So for us to, stick it out in the wind, it was definitely a test of golf today. So to be able to pull through on a tough course and a tough day without necessarily thinking about what the other teams were doing, I think definitely shows the mental strength and dedication.
So I think it's great for the league, great for college women's golf. It speaks to whether it's Title IX or just that people are learning from an earlier age how to play golf and that they play competitively. There are more great players out there, but those who can both balance the school and balance the golf and get in and then play at the level that they have, it's really amazing what they've done. I would say especially you know, Princeton and Yale, they've set a standard, and that gives you a benchmark. It gives you something to shoot for. And knowing where they are and knowing that we've tried to work as hard as we can to get up to there, it's really fun to start approaching that level and to do well this year.
This is going to be a short ride back to Cambridge, isn't it?
The shortest 7 hours ever, yes.